Hi, this is Suzanne Wachtel. Today I want to talk about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? You read it, you see it all over the place. Mindfulness. It's a very 20s, buzzword. What is it? What does it mean? Does it help? Is it a good thing to learn? Is it a strategy? Well, I'm here to tell you that mindfulness is wonderful. And mindfulness is very simple practice. Years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, my grandchildren lived here in Florida, and I am very attached to them, but I was very attached to them because I saw them weekly. We spent holidays together. They were very much a part of my day-to-day life. And when I found out they were lifting and moving and going to California, which is quite far from Florida, I became very anxious because they were going to be far away, anxious because I was so conditioned to spending, weekends with them. And so I thought to myself, this was before COVID too, what could I do for myself to help me stay grounded, to help my anxiety, to help me adapt and adjust? And lo and behold, I read about a mindfulness 6-week training course that was being given literally walking distance from my house. And I decided to give it a whirl, and we're going back about 6 years now, give it a whirl and try it. So I signed up for the course, and sure enough, I had a wonderful teacher who still teaches mindfulness meditation and mindfulness practice. And it's a stress reduction course. And it was all about mindfulness. So what I learned in this course was how to train your mind to stop thinking and worrying, even temporarily, and focus on your breath, your visual, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're sensing, basically your 5 senses, and learning how to be right here, right now. I even have a rock next to my on my night table next to my bed to remind me. It says, be here right now. So be here right now. How do you be here right now? When our monkey brain wants to think about what we're doing next and what we did before, and it's about taking a deep breath through your nose, imagining the breath going in, and then breathing out like you're blowing out a birthday candle. Breathing in as if you're smelling a flower. And I use these techniques often when I do my meditations, or I put my meditations in the podcast. So the breath work is something that is a tool to be used all the time, to calm yourself down, to cope with anger, to cope with stress, to cope with all sorts of life's frustrations. So the first part of this course was very interesting. It was a 6-part course. So the first beginning part was explanation of what I'm doing now, explaining to you what mindfulness is, what we're going to be learning, which was the practice of a body check. We learned a meditation where you breathed in, and you started with your face, and little by little, each part of your face, your mouth, your tongue, your throat, back of your head, your forehead, just really breathing into those places and micro-focusing on each part from your head down to your toes on every part of your body. And that was called a body check meditation. In the course, we had to do that as part of our course every day, once a day. It was guided and it was long, but it was very interesting. I do a more mini version of it because the true head-to-toe check would probably take an hour. So I try to bring it down to 5 to 6 minutes. That's number 1. Number 2, we learned how to be here right now. So that was to notice to notice, we spent an afternoon looking. We had to find a place. It was a beautiful, where this course was held was at a beautiful park setting with an indoor space, but there was a park-like setting outside. I went outside and sat by the pond and just focused on the water, noticing the ripples, noticing the sun reflecting on the water, noticing, looking all around in my visual field, noticing the color of the flowers to the left, noticing the sun shining on the leaves, noticing the ripples in the water, just quietly, really doing your breath and visually looking at the scene in front of you. One of the ways to practice that was at a red light. Instead of thinking and making a phone call, notice your hands on the wheel. How do they feel? Notice what they look like. Notice, just be here now. Notice. The second exercise was to look at something micro. That's macro, looking at a whole big scene. Macro looking, I took a blade of grass. You could take a little rock. You could even simply look at your hand and just study it. Notice the lines. In the grass blade, notice the different shades of green. Notice how the tip is a point. Just take your thoughts and go into fine-tuning of noticing little details. And this is also a form of being mindful. Mindful means right here, right now. One of the fun parts of this mindfulness learning was eating. And mindfulness eating is used often for dieting, losing weight. So it sounds kind of funny, mindfully eating. So we were instructed to bring lunch, and I'll never forget this day. We all sat down. There was like a lunch area. Maybe there were 20 people attending this class. And as we sat down, we were instructed to mindfully pay attention to opening whatever it was. Let's say it's a sandwich. Opening the bag and looking at it. Maybe it's a sandwich. I think I brought like a sandwich. Taking it out and then smelling it. Smelling the food. The next part was touching the food, placing it on your lips, not taking a bite yet, but feeling the sandwich on your lips. Maybe touching it with your tongue. Slowly taking a bite. Feeling it in your mouth. Letting the food sit in your mouth before taking a chew. Then slowly noticing, chewing, taking the bite, chewing. I believe I brought a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to be precise. Taking a bite, chewing it, tasting it, really noticing the flavor, the smell, the taste, the feel, and then swallowing. Well, a funny part of this particular story is I brought a good friend of mine to this course. And during this eating mindfully part, she got a case of the giggles. I'm talking, the giggles where you're cracking up and you cannot stop, like no matter what. So we're all eating, and as I'm looking around, everyone looked kind of unusually strange, mindfully eating, smelling their food, feeling it, touching it, chewing it. It did look kind of bizarre, to be honest, even though it was a great exercise in mindful eating. She got hysterical laughing. So I had to remove her, and we went outside and were just hysterical laughing. It was one of those moments I'll never forget. But I did learn how to eat mindfully, and to this day, at a restaurant, at home. I really do practice when I remember, which is now I've trained myself most of the time to eat mindfully. Even ice cream, you could take little bites. You just want to taste things, because sometimes we mindlessly eat. We mindlessly drive. You know, when you drive somewhere and you get there and you don't know how you got there, that's mindlessly driving. When you eat and you don't even remember tasting the food, that's mindlessly eating. You know, when you're talking to someone and you're really not hearing them, that's mindlessly not listening. You're focusing on what your thoughts are. And we call that monkey brain. Our brains always are in monkey brain. We have to train it. It's an exercise. It's a practice to come back to this breath right here, right now. So we have listening, we have visual, we have breath, we have noticing, being in this moment right here, right now. Let's talk about worrying. Okay, people love to worry. It's a very common problem, and it doesn't accomplish anything except upset us and make us worried and anxious. So when you're in this moment right here, right now, noticing, paying attention to your body, your breath, the sensations all around you, right? We're not worried and thinking about what's going to happen next, what happened in the past, right? We can only, so when I worry, which I am an anxious person, I've had trauma in my life, so I tend to worry. And so when I start to worry, I really remember to go back to this breath right here, right now, is the only thing I can control today. I cannot control what's going to happen next. I cannot control what happened before. I cannot control, and the worry does nothing but make me feel more out of control and anxious. So when that happens, I go back to this breath right here and now is the only thing that I can control. And that is such an important tool. So mindfulness is a wonderful strategic tool. And even practitioners that do therapy, that practice psychology, teachers are teaching children to be more mindful. In fact, in Japan, they teach children mindfulness. As mindfulness is also called meditation. It means to find ways to not think and be present in this moment right here, right now. They give the children a glass jar with a branch in it and a caterpillar. And 5 minutes a day, the children are instructed. They have 5 minutes, a timeout, where they are not to speak. They are to only examine the caterpillar in the jar, watching it, observing it, noticing how it moves, how it travels, noticing its little feet, noticing its color, noticing right here, right now, letting go of thoughts, letting go of feelings, and focusing on this moment now. So let's review. Mindfulness training, this breath right here, right now, can help you relieve anxiety, feel more in control, feel more positive, feel less worried, and have a happier overall state of mind. I will tell you that the mindfulness course I practice every day, I do, and I notice every day one way or another, whether it's traffic, I take a breath, I notice my hands, I'll look at a bird, I'll look at a cloud, and I take my mind away from that monkey brain and I go into right here, right now, look at that beautiful cloud. Notice my hands on the steering wheel. Notice my breath. And it really did help when the children did move to adjust to right here, right now, what I could control. And I would say that I have taught many, many of my patients and friends mindfulness tools, and everyone has reported, if they practice it, that it really makes a difference in a positive way, a very positive way, to let go of the worry, let go of the fear, let go of the stress, and only be aware of what's happening in your life right here, right now. So on that note, I want to wish you a peaceful, stress-free, happy, beautiful day. Namaste.